I think people get tattooed because, there's not a lot of real stuff left in the world, and it's all like a 24-hour news cycle. Nothing lasts. With tattooing, it's blood, it's pain, it's permanence. When you get that needle in your skin for the first time, you have to be there. You can't just call it in. You have to sit there and take the pain, and then sit there and heal it, and then you got to live with the consequences of your action. Hey guys, welcome to the show today. Happy Saturday. So, I haven't been posting a lot lately just because I've been busy working on the farm and tattooing from my studio. So, I'm in the shop today. Thought I'd make a little video for you on something that, I hold back a lot, right? There's a lot of opinions I have that are very unpopular. And some of you guys that know me personally, I'm very outspoken, right? But I'm also trying to create a show here that appeals to a lot of people and trying to get my information out, get my message out. But there's some stuff that I feel very strongly about, right? And it's conflicting for me because, I have a tattoo shop, right? And I have, like 10, 15 artists that work for me that do a variety of styles. And, it's not all stuff that I particularly like, right? But I run a business, you know what I mean? So without sounding like a hypocrite, I will tell you that one of my things that attracts me the most, I'll be as diplomatic as I can here, okay? One of the things that attracts me the most to Japanese tattooing is the serious nature of it, right? The absolute timeless, classic seriousness of it. There's no jokey shit. There's no stupid stuff. I talk a lot about the longevity of tattooing and just the manner in which you do Japanese tattooing, like American traditional, is bold, it's strong, black shading, solid colors, solid lines, it's fucking out there. The lines define what the tattoo is. This is the stuff that's important to me. But past techniques, we get past that, we get to the content of the tattooing. There's also that, right? I mean, I'm an old guy, right? I'm going to be 52 this year. So let me put my old guy hat on, right? Which is what this is. My wife just got me that. Thank you, love. So my old guy hat, my dad hat, right? I see a lot of, younger guys not getting tattooed by me, but getting tattooed and stuff I see in the streets and stuff I see come in the shop. And it's like a lot of people getting childish tattoos, right? Childish. And with no concept that you are going to grow up one day. You might choose not to have children, but you're still going to be a 40-year-old man one day. And you might have children. And you're covering yourself in childish, silly pictures, right? And, again, it's just my opinion, right? And everyone's fucking got them, right? But for my view of what tattooing is, I see tattooing as something for grown-ups, right? This is why we don't let kids get fucking tattooed. I mean, in New South Wales, where I live in Australia, you can get tattooed 16 with parental consent, right? We don't do it because 16-year-olds generally don't have a fucking good sense of what they want, right? Neither do 14-year-olds or 12-year-olds or fucking most 18-year-olds these days, right? So, I mean, look, I'm anti-regulation, right? But my personal choice is I don't want to tattoo you if you're young with stupid shit, right? If I could just tattoo people over 30 myself, that wouldn't bother me at all, right? And most of my clients are guys between 40 and 50, self-employed, entrepreneurial, or have a good stable job. Then they're getting real solid, serious work, which is what I do, right? I do have the young guys, and the young guys who come to me, they fascinate me because they're like in their early 20s, but they have a good head on their shoulders and a good sense of what they want. And I love that. And I love talking to them and picking their brains and finding out why they chose my style and stuff. Yeah, so that's interesting, right? But a lot of young people, and I think it's just a certain demographic of young people. I'm not trying to paint every young person with the same brush here, but there's a lot of immature tattooing going on, a lot of immature imagery, and I think it takes away from the power of tattooing, right? I think that, I don't know how to explain it, man. Like, let's give you an analogy. Like, let's say car culture. Let's say we took lowriders, right? You look at lowriders, like California Cholo style lowriders, and they got the suspension, they got the candy apple paint, and they got the pinstriping, and it's got a look, right? It's a thing. It's a culture. It's tough. It's mysterious. It's its own world of shadows, right? But then a bunch of other people bought shitty versions of those cars, right? And then painted a bunch of stupid fucking shit on those cars, like cartoons and dumb sayings and just silly stuff, right? And then tried to drive with the cool cars. You'd be like, what the fuck are you doing, right? I don't know if I'm explaining this right. What I'm trying to say is tattooing's special, right? And that's why, there were gatekeepers, right? Gatekeeping was a big thing when I was coming up, right? And gatekeeping's got this, it's a fucking dirty word now, but man, I'm fully supportive of it, right? I mean, all those old tattooers that everyone reveres, Sailor Jerry and this guy and that guy, all the Japanese tattoo masters and all the people that, tattooers revere from the old days, they were all fucking gatekeepers, man. They wouldn't tell you shit. They're not going to teach you. They're not going to tell you what inks they use, what needles they use. They weren't fucking advertising what supply companies they got shit from. They were proper gatekeepers. If you asked them to learn how to tattoo, they'd tell you to get the fuck out of the shop, right? There's a story of a guy who actually used to, if you were getting tattooed by this dude, I can't remember his name for the life of me, but this is a pretty well-known story. If you were getting tattooed by this guy, and you started asking questions like, oh, how do you do this, or what machine is that, or what needles is this? He would put a paper bag over your head, like a paper shopping bag with no eye holes. And you would sit there in the chair getting tattooed with a fucking paper bag in your head because you're asking too many questions, right? See, I love that, right? I love that. I think that, and I've talked about this before ad nauseum, tattooing used to be special. And if you wanted to get into tattooing, you had to find your way in, right? I found my way in. A lot of people found their way in, and it was a process of weeding out the people that maybe shouldn't be in tattooing, and who the fuck am I to decide who can't tattoo? I'm not. I'm just me, right? But I'm not going to tell you my shit. I'm not going to tell you you want to fucking go figure it out? Off you go. Go learn, right? Well, you're not going to be helped by me. Whereas tattooing, back in those days, you had to be helped. You had to get brought in and taught. You had to do an apprenticeship or at least be mentored by people, because you could not teach yourself. You could not just figure out how to make tattoo needles or how to make tattoo ink or how to do these things. You needed to be brought in. It was a wider community. And then within that wider community, you had pockets of little subcultures that all interacted with each other. Sorry, I'm lisping a bit today. And so that was what tattooing was. And then something happened, right? Something happened, and then everybody could just tattoo, and then it's turned it into a fucking shit show, right? And there's a lot of good tattooing going on right now, don't get me wrong, but there's a fucking ton of shit being done. Immature, dumb stuff that is not going to last, right? And like anything that is, not done properly, it hurts the real aspect of tattooing, right? When all these people with their color rainbow shit and fine line stuff and blackout arms, when they all grow up, right? Do you think they're going to be happy with that stuff? You know what I mean? Do you think, people with their faces tattooed, man, everyone knows they get that shit. Most of them get it lasered off when they grow up. Hands, right? It creates a social ceiling for you, just like the face tattoos and the neck tattoos. And when people mature, they end up getting that stuff lasered off, right? But the vast majority of the tattooing going on now is so immature and so unrefined and just, not good, right? It's like people are getting tattooed now like they're temporary tattoos, 20-year-old girls getting little, they come in, they get 3 stickers at once, right? where the dudes get, 3 or 4 things at once, like the scorpion here and the thing there and the thing there and the thing there, right? And it's all fine line. It's all this, I just can't help but think that that's from a lack of education, and that's what they see other people doing. And so it creates this, whatever you call it, right? Social contagion of shitty tattooing, right? From TikTok and all these other social media platforms, right? Where we should be promoting real tattooing, serious tattooing, and trying to raise tattooing up a little bit instead of the lowest common denominator being the dominating factor in tattooing, right? So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what the solution is. I'm working on it, I'm working on it. So when I have some solutions, I'll certainly let you know. But in the meantime, if you're getting tattooed or you're a tattooer, follow your heart, right? If you're a tattooer, you know what's right. If you're a real tattooer, don't do dumb shit, right? And I can't emphasize that enough with the passion, right? Don't do dumb shit. Don't do a fucking samurai playing a guitar as a back piece, right? Don't do, an oni riding a surfboard as a sleeve. The client might want it. That's fucking great. Good for them, right? Put on a fucking t-shirt. It debases tattooing. It debases Japanese tattooing, all right? This kind of stuff, and if I'm insulting you, fuck man, too bad, right? I'm a serious tattooer. I want to see tattooing being serious, right? And so I see that stuff and it fucking irks me, as you can tell, right? So I want to lift tattooing up, make it more serious, make it more real, right? I even people's appearance, I see guys tattooing in cut off board shorts and flip flops and, looking like shit. Man, you're supposed to be a fucking professional, dude. Dress like a professional. Be a professional, right? You can be a fucking artist in your painting studio, right? But all aspects of tattooing have just, so much of it. And I applaud the people that are keeping the high bar. Like when I used to work by machine only, I used to work in a suit most days of the week, sometimes even with a tie. I thought it just elevated tattooing. I thought it was nice. It was nice for the clients. It was a good look. Made me feel like I needed to be more serious and more professional, So keep these things in mind, right? If you want to be serious, if you want people to take you seriously, if you want to feel more serious in your artwork and feel more serious in what you're doing, and if you're a client and you want to age appropriately, right? You want to get a cool tattoo when you're 30 that's still a cool tattoo when you're 50, and you're not embarrassed to take your shirt off at the pool when you're with your kids. Keep this stuff in mind, right? This is why Japanese tattooing is so classic, right? Because even if you get something like, a warrior with severed heads and stuff, there's a story to it, right? It's a bit dark, but there's a story. It's from this thing. It's a story. It's a print, right? It's still a cool fucking tattoo. If you just get some fucking dumb shit off a heavy metal t-shirt, what is it, right? What is it? It's an immature tattoo, So, I could go on all fucking day for this, right? Because it's something I feel super passionate about. People that, know me know I'm a little bit serious, and this is something that I am serious about. Good tattooing has to be taken in the context of it's a lifetime commitment, right? It's a lifetime. You're going to have that till the day you fucking die, right? And so keep that in mind when you're doing the tattoo. That person has to wear that forever with your name on it. You did that, right? And if you're getting a tattoo, is this cool? Is this going to be cool in 20, 30 years, right? So keep that in mind, guys. I'm going to expand upon this a bit later and some other stuff. Some stuff coming down the pipeline as well, too. So thanks for watching. I got some new t-shirts in stock. You can check out the web store on my website, authentink.com or horisumi.com. I got this new shirt, right? The thing on the back, and some other Hokusai masks inspired stuff. And I've never plugged my stuff ever, so I'm plugging it now. And for everyone that buys a t-shirt, I will send you a Horisumi pin to go with your t-shirt order if you mention the podcast in your order. All right, guys, Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.